Good morning, everyone. Michael said, my name's Sam. I'm the founder and CEO of Qintil, and we build smart learning and compliance technology. I actually spent 12 years building and running a nursing agency. So back in 2002, family business, me and my mum, she'd had nursing homes all her life, which I grew up in. One of 6 kids running around. You couldn't do that anymore, but we did. And we started the nursing agency in Scotland in 2002. Now that business has been quite successful. It's grown, and we have around about 3,500 nurses on our books, and we deploy 800 to 1,000 nurses and care workers every day. And we also have a business that delivers complex care and home care back in the UK. I brought that business over to the UK, over to Australia in late 2013 and early 2014. Now, to give you some context, back in the UK, nursing agencies are actually regulated by the same agency and in the same way that nursing homes and other healthcare providers are regulated. So we actually would be inspected and held to account and reported on and graded in the same way that every other healthcare provider would be back in Scotland. We have a bit of an issue, though, because all of our people are not in one place. They're all over the place. And so about 4 years ago, we started looking at how we could better deliver education, keep track of compliance, get all of our nurses the education that they wanted. And so we went out looking for a learning management system and an e-learning system to do that. And to be perfectly honest, we couldn't find one that we liked. So we started to build one ourselves. And we built one off the back of a framework which was actually developed by a guy up in Queensland, strangely enough, and this was back when we were over in Scotland. And we had internal educators who built courses for us, and we started delivering those courses to our nurses. And the upshot of it was that our nurses were doing their education in their own time, that a lot of them were doing it on night shift, and our compliance rate improved dramatically. And systems and education being one of the quality points that they grade you on, we consistently graded very, very highly on that ever since implementing it. Earlier in 2016, I thought, well, you know, this is something that probably a lot of other businesses could do with as well. And we'd started showing our learning management system and our e-learning system to our clients in the nursing agency to show them how we trained our staff. And they said, oh, that's interesting, we could probably use that. So it was never the plan, but we started then building a new platform which could really work for healthcare, aged care, and any industry. And I went out there and I looked at the learning management system market. There are over 400 learning management systems on the market today. And they vary in size and in cost and in scale and what they can actually do. But what you really notice is that at the end of the day, they're simply, in most instances, expensive data storage services. And if you think about it like this, there's your LMS. We're going to call it a cardboard box for the purposes of this. And your employer will record all the tests and scores, all of your learning and the compliance for you inside that organization. What that learning management system doesn't do and can't do, because it's built for the employer, not for the learner, it doesn't record the courses that you've done outside of work or at another employer, because you could be working at an agency or 2 jobs at once. It doesn't record your own reading and things that you do to upskill yourselves in your own time, your experiences and courses from other employers. Once that box is shut, you leave that organization, you've lost the record of all of that data. And there's important information in there. That's your skills, which your experiences, which you're upgrading all of the time. Even worse, it could just be on an Excel spreadsheet, or even in a folder on a shelf, because most learning management systems are quite expensive. Excuse the pound symbol, I was doing this presentation in the UK a few days ago. So we wanted to build something that went a bit further than that. So we wanted to build a learning management system that was really simple, really easy to use, really cost effective for employers. So Qintil is software as a service, 100% online. You can go up and sign up right now and be up and running literally in under a minute. We've got all the features that you would expect and you would need if you were to need a learning management system inside your organization. So you can set courses by team and role. There's detailed reporting. It's mobile friendly. It creates certificates automatically. You can do classroom instructor-led courses as well as online courses. And it all records it in real time. And when you log in as a manager, the first thing you see is how compliant you are across your organization and how many hours of learning you've done. But we went beyond that, because in Qintil, when you get added to Qintil by your employer, you actually get a Qintil profile, which is yours. And it's a bit like a LinkedIn profile. And it's where you record all of your learning. So let's say you're working at one facility and you've done all of your mandatory courses, you've maybe done a dementia course, and outside of that, you've done some other things as well. Maybe you're interested in Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, and you've gone off and done a conference, or you've done some reading. You can actually record all of that in your profile. And you can see learning from other employers as well if they're using Qintil too, which can deduplicate compliance for your employer. You can share your profile, so you can give your employer full visibility. So within your profile, you have the option to upload or pull in courses from other providers, and you can then securely share that with anybody. It could even be a registration body. And what I'd really like to get to a point is where APRA will accept a Qintil record as proof of your CPD. And it's the same for many other industries, of course, as well, not just healthcare. The third part to the whole jigsaw was education. So as Michael said, when we first started, we built a suite of 30-odd courses, 60-odd actually, because we had a selection for the UK and a selection for Australia. And customers were always coming to us and saying, well, actually, you know, we do this with this provider and we want this, or do you have this? Or actually, I don't want it this way, I want it this way. And so we started developing tweaks and changes custom of our content for individual providers. And so I said, well, actually, there's loads of education providers out there. Why don't we just get it all into one place? So we opened up the marketplace, and we have providers like the Aged Care Channel, IntelliLearn, HealthXN, as well as a number of other providers which are not healthcare orientated. So we've got a big American course provider called Knowledge City on the platform, and they do courses in computer skills, self-management, leadership. We've got other companies on board who do HR type courses, internal management of staff, loads of stuff. So it's all coming together, and you're all putting all of your skills into one place. I'd like to give you a quick demonstration, if we've got some time. Like I said, Qintil is 100% online. You can sign up literally instantly. This is a sign-up page here. You can go to our website and create a free trial account if you're an employer, or you can just sign up straight away. I'm just going to quickly show you what it looks like from an employer's point of view, and also what it looks like from a learner's point of view. So, when you log in, this is what you see as a manager. And the first thing you see is an overview of your compliance status. So imagine knowing instantly at all times how compliant you are as an organisation. No more rifling through spreadsheets, no more checking in folders and files. You know instantly how compliant you are as an organisation. You can see an overview of all of your courses and how many hours of training you've done in a particular period, and you can filter it right down. And you can see learning activity and compliance rates across the board and export that all to CSV. In your organisation, you can set up locations and teams, role-based, and assign courses to them automatically. You can have the system send email reminders to your staff. So if you're non-compliant, you'll get 2 emails a week, one on a Monday and one on a Thursday, detailing exactly what you need to do to become compliant. And we'll keep sending you those emails until you become compliant. And we'll send every single learner a weekly summary of all of their learning from your organisation and from anywhere else that they've done as well. Within your users, you can instantly see the compliance state of all your people. You can see how many courses they've done, and you can see the amount of hours of learning that they've done. And you can also see what they've done outside of work. So if I go to, where is he? Okay. This is Ben. So Ben's not compliant inside our organisation at the moment, and we can easily see that. Ben knows he's not compliant as well, and I'll show you how in a minute. But we've got a complete breakdown of all the courses that he's done. Within there, we can reset it or even create a certificate automatically. And that certificate is available to Ben or not. You can actually withhold the ability for the employee to generate their own certificate. But I also can see all of Ben's other achievements. So you can see the courses that Ben's done inside the learning system, but you can also see the other things he's done outside. So he's been to a seminar provided by the ACN. He's done an online course through Coursera on social media for managers because he's interested in social media as well. He's done a face-to-face course internally with Smith & Nephew for wound care management. He's got a degree. He's got an MA in nursing. All of these things are in the system. We can upload evidence to prove it. And one of the things that we're working on at the moment is integrations with institutions and education providers to digitally certify people. And I'll talk to you more about that in a minute. So, compliance within the organisation, really quickly to assign compliance across the organisation. Down the side we have all of our courses. They're either internal, face-to-face or online courses, and all of our different staff groups across the top. And we can really easily just randomly, just instantly assign compliance statuses to all of those people within this matrix, and it'll automatically be updated across the board, and they'll know instantly they have courses to do. And finally we have our reporting. And this is our compliance matrix. So this is something you can print off, and we specifically designed it for this, so organisations could print this off and stick it on their notice board. And it's an at-a-glance look at the compliance status of your organisation. And you can filter that down and create custom reports which can be emailed to you, and you can save those reports as well. There's a lot more to it than that, and I can show you in a private demonstration if you like, but I'd just very quickly like to show you the learner experience as well. So when a learner comes into the platform, they get their own profile, and you can see here that you can see this guy, this Ben, works for Vital Natural Health. He can see instantly all of his courses that he has to do. You can also see the courses that he's doing privately from elsewhere, and you can see the mandatory courses that he needs to do to be compliant for all of his organisations. Really simple, really easy to understand. Red is stuff you need to do right now, it's right up at the top, and we're going to continue emailing you to remind you to do those courses. And then you've got all of your other courses in here as well that you have to do. When you go into a course, you can see easily who's given it to you, so the provider, the name of the company that's given to you, if they've set a deadline and an expiry date, and it's all broken down into lessons. You can start a course within the system, leave halfway through, come back and pick up where you left off. And all this is recorded automatically for the organisation, so they can see exactly to the minute how much learning is being completed. And we've also got face-to-face courses and courses from other providers in here. And then finally they have their achievements folder. And this is what, like I said, you can do this right now. You can have an achievements folder on Qintil where you can add content to, and it'll pull in all of your learning. And this is the area that we're really, a lot of our focus is going to be on this year in terms of our development. So Qintil is being used by businesses across Australia and in the UK. Healthcare is our biggest industry, but we also work with hospitality, construction, and other professional services companies who use Qintil for their internal development. New features coming in 2017. We've got a Qintil app on the way for both managers and learners, so you can do your learning on the go. Our website is fully optimized for mobile, and it works really nicely on mobile, but we want an app to make it even better. A learners and admins app is on its way. Qintil button. So in the future, when you register to attend a conference, there'll be a Qintil button on the website, and you can register with that button. It'll register your attendance at that conference and also record that attendance in your Qintil learning profile. And integrations. So I mentioned about institutions and RTOs. One of the key integrations we're developing at the moment is the ability for institutions and RTOs to digitally issue certificates. Those certificates are issued to a secure wallet, which is kind of like a Bitcoin wallet, and it's the same sort of security that we use to secure that information. In about 6 months' time, all of that information will be available to employers and instantly verified online. If there's an expiry date, it'll flag that, and it'll automatically renew it once the RTO or the institution has enabled it to do so. And beyond that, we've got integrations coming in with online course providers like Coursera and Khan Academy, HR systems, LinkedIn, and there's an open API so that anybody can plug into Qintil. One of the key things I wanted to do with Qintil was make it really affordable. So you can sign up online, true software as a service, and you can get going straight away. There's a 30-day free trial for any employer who wants it. And if you've got 100 employees, it's $499 a month, $499 an employee. And that includes, for aged care, over 30 free courses as well. And if you're a member of the Aged Care Development Network, you get 10% off and integration with CareHQ as well. Thank you very much.
Right. A couple of things occurred to me. Please stand right there. It talks about the delivery side to it, and do you have a mobile delivery? Can you sit on a mobile phone on the train home or bus home?
Yep. So you can is actually quite interesting. A lot of people do it that way. So it works really well. It works best on a tablet, but it does work very nicely on a sort of an iPhone size screen as well. And people do their courses on iPhone.
When someone rolls out, when they decide to take on Qintil, how do they do that? How do other facilities do that, please?
So it's an interesting thing. So it's available to sign up instantly, and people do that. In practice, what happens, because it's an actual change of system and change of process and change of the way of doing things, it takes a bit longer to roll out in practice. And one of the interesting things that we've had is that organisations, especially in aged care, there's a great variety in the staff in terms of their IT literacy. Some of our companies that we work with, a lot of the staff didn't even have email addresses when they started, which made it a little bit difficult for us. But moving from a classroom-based course, where people like sitting in a classroom and doing courses, through to online, and using an online system, what we tend to find is that you engage the staff through we actually run competitions. When we start a new company, we'll run a competition with a voucher at the end of it so that people can actually get rewarded for the most learning that they do in a specific period of time. And we tend to find that works quite well. Other companies have issues. They need to pay for on award. They need to pay for training. So they monetize and reward through completing a certain amount of hours of training. But what we have noticed is that as long as it's driven from top down, and as long as there are key people in the organisation who are champions for what we're trying to do and for what the organisation wants to do with Qintil, it tends to be very effective.
Probably, as shown over the last 2 days, probably the most popular e-learning system is the Aged Care Channel. How do they integrate with you?
Yeah. So Aged Care Channel is obviously been around a long, long time. Most nursing homes have got the Aged Care Channel DVDs in their office somewhere. Aged Care Channel, their subscription model is slightly different to the way most learning is provided. We've cut a deal with Aged Care Channel where you can get most of their content on Qintil, and you can access it as an individual. You can purchase a single course, and if you're already a subscriber to Aged Care Channel as well, you can basically get a voucher from them and access that courses inside Qintil, and it's all recorded automatically inside the learning management system.
Any other questions for Sam?
What you do privately,
yeah.
And you upload that in your system, how's that verified?
Yeah. So
Do they upload it themselves?
Yeah. So they upload it themselves, and at the moment it's simply a storage record that you can say, well, actually, yes, I've seen that, I've cited it, I've verified it. If it's from a trusted provider, an external trading provider who you already trust, you can do it. It's verified in that sense. However, like I said, going forward, this technology we're working on at the moment allows it to be automatically verified online with the provider that's issued it.
So back on the ACDN passport page where it showed verified for a subject, this is how we do education. Verified from an employer is when it comes from your HR system. Any other questions for Sam? Thank you very much.
Thank you.